much for inviting me to the first ever gathering of the Innovation Network. I'm really sorry that I can't be there, but I hope this is the next best thing. Sharing clips from the film, The Human Trial, that exemplify how we can all do better in how we treat clinical trial patients in these groundbreaking studies. But first, some backstory. My husband Guy and I began making The Human Trial in 2011. A few years later, we met ViaCyte, a small biotech company in San Diego that was rethinking how to cure diabetes. Our very first shoot with ViaCyte was when they got their IND approved by the FDA to go to human trial.
So today is our 30-day clock on the IND. I was hoping to make this a very suspenseful meeting, but somehow having bottles of champagne, and I guess if the answer was bad, it would have been hard liquor. Okay? There are no hold issues, and the clinical trial may proceed.
For the next 7 years, we embedded ourselves in ViaCyte's stem cell trial. We filmed their triumphs and failures in the lab, while also following the first 2 patients at the University of Minnesota. Our access was unprecedented, and our takeaways profound. I'd like to share some of these takeaways today.
Hi, I'm just gonna complain the whole time. I'm a mess, I'm a wreck. I don't know if I can keep doing this anymore. I might have to go back in today again, which would be surgery number 5 in 4 months. And I'm so tired. Tired of this. It's so much physically and emotionally on me. I could all this in hopes of a cure.
This is Maren, patient 1. She's frustrated, scared, and at the end of a rope.
It has been an emotional roller coaster, is the only way to explain it. I would give anything if I could sit down with the people doing the study out in San Diego and say, this is what it's like on our end. You can go ahead and see my labs, you can go ahead and see the blood work, but talk to Greg and me. Talk to us about how we're doing. Nice and close. But I'm gonna have to stick it out until someone tells me to stop.
Takeaway number 1, patients need to feel supported. Clinical trials are hard, and access to therapy and psychological support is critical. Greg and Maren, patients 1 and 2 at the University of Minnesota, told me that if they didn't have each other to talk to and confide in, they would have quit. The hope-despair roller coaster that they rode was real. Takeaway number 2, patients need to feel heard. Ask them for their insights during and after the trial. While the firewall between patient and sponsor is important, it doesn't need to be impenetrable. I think if Maren knew who was on the other side of the trial, she would have been less scared. Is that Taymor? Hi, Taymor.
Hi, Lisa.
How are you? Thanks for your help today. Okay, guys.
We get email all the time. These come from all around the world. Hi, I have diabetes type 1 and I would like to know if there's any chance to participate as a volunteer living here in Brazil. Thanks, from Paulo. There's another one. Hi, our 15-year-old son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes this week. Wow. This is an email from Mexico. Hello, yesterday my 6-year-old Paulina was diagnosed diabetes type 1, insulin dependent. She had a perfect health till yesterday that my little girl was rushed into the emergency room with a 480 glucose level. She's so cheerful and all day, every day is singing every song she hears and knows she is attached to a machine that has to introduce insulin to her little hand and her body. Capital letters, I don't want that life for her. Yeah, so these keep things in perspective. Just goes on and on.
Takeaway number 3, show that you care. Write a letter to the patient describing why you're doing this research, how long you've been doing it, and if you have a connection to the disease.
So even if the patients we've been following, Howard, don't seem to be producing C-peptides or essentially their own insulin, that's not a failure?
It depends upon how you define failure. It's obviously a setback for these patients who have volunteered their time and effort to participate in these clinical trials. But we've learned a lot from them, and we continue to tweak the implantation procedure, trying to improve the engraftment process, and we continue to make gains there.
What's the mood like at ViaCyte right now?
I think the mood is upbeat. Everybody is excited. I mean, everybody here at ViaCyte is convinced that our cells do a great job. They work the way they're supposed to and behave very physiologically. They will cure type 1 diabetes. But here's one thing that you would like to know.
Yeah.
Remember the first patient from Minnesota?
Yeah.
We early terminated that patient because of lack of C-peptide, lack of potential efficacy, and the like. So we explanted all of the remaining units. Would you like to know what the histology showed?
Yes.
There were clumps of viable cells there.
I really wish that Maren and Greg had been able to see this clip before they left the trial. They both felt that they had failed science. Takeaway number 4, be open about your expectations and how the clinical trial is designed. Takeaway number 5, thank the patients for participating. If the patients feel good and validated at the end of the trial, they're more likely to recommend it to others. I spent 10 years making the human trial, but that doesn't make me a scientist or a researcher or a PI. I'm just a filmmaker, and what I saw was an opportunity to do better, to honor the patients who are the heroes who put themselves on the line to be first. Thank you for watching.